physician, so he's been busy lately.
Yeah. Some good stuff, some nonsense,
Yeah,
like almost all the time.
yeah, yeah. Bureaucracy and saving lives. Great.
Yes, bureaucracy.
Uh,
Plenty of bureaucracy.
You guys can begin.
Okay, I'm going to begin then. Okay, everyone, welcome to the Village of Mamaroneck Board of Architectural Review meeting. I think, Joe, are you going to mute everyone there, or should we ask, or else you should mute yourselves? I'm not sure.
Well, they're all as attendees right now, so they
Okay.
can't speak unless I'm going to promote them
Okay.
one by one as you call them out.
Okay, good.
Ron, you're muted.
Okay. Then, is Cindy here or no?
No, she's not going to come since we have
Okay.
enough.
Okay, so we're one person short. There's just the 4 out of the 5 here. So if any submissions feel their odds would be improved by having the full board here, and would rather have the full board hear their presentation, they're certainly willing to defer to the next meeting without prejudice. Just let us know. Then if there's any participants here other than applicants, interested parties or neighbors or whatever, and you would like to speak, you're certainly welcome to do so. I may not remember to ask if there are comments. I'll try to remember, but if I don't, you're still welcome to make comments. Just raise your hand and let Joe know that you wish to speak, and he'll bring you on, and your comments are welcome. Okay, and with that, let's move on. First to the approval of the meeting minutes for the
Mr. Chair,
meeting.
Mr. Chair, just before you begin, would you just, for the record, have everyone go through a roll call and just state their name? as being
Okay,
present?
roll call. We haven't done that, but we should do that, I suppose. So roll call. This is William Binzer, and I am the chair. Can you,
Andrew Wallowitz here. Committee member.
Athena Makish. Yvonne Levin, nice meeting you.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Chair. Yeah, a quorum is established.
thank you.
Bill, can I just interject one thing for participants? So this is a lengthy agenda, and so you guys know, we're going to expect you to show your own electronic documents. So if you could have those ready when it's your turn and not wait until it's your turn, it'll help the meeting move along. So just have your files ready to share screen.
Good, thank you. Okay. So, then let us move on to the minutes. Okay, so approval of the minutes for the June 18th meeting. Barbara, do we have a quorum here for people who were at that meeting?
No, I don't have the minutes in front of me.
Well,
Who wasn't here last time? Probably
I
just
was
not.
you, I think.
I wasn't. Yeah,
okay.
I was
So
So
absent.
we do not have a quorum, then we
We
only
don't
have
have
a.
a quorum, we can't vote on the minutes.
Okay, so the
Yeah,
meeting, that's,
let's see.
okay. So we'll defer that till future meeting.
Mhm.
Okay, then. And there being no old business, we'll move right into the new business, starting first with 1600 Harrison Avenue.
Oh, just can I get their name?
That's it says here, John Basakis. John Basakis. I
Jim,
apologize.
James,
if I
okay.
butchered
James.
it.
James.
James, okay.
All right. Should be on in a second.
Mhm.
Hello,
Hello.
James Bitsakis here regarding 1600 Harrison Avenue.
Good evening.
Mr. Blasakis, just a quick question. Are you the only person participating for this application, on behalf of this application? Or is there other members of your team?
No, just myself.
Okay,
I'm the primary owner.
thank you.
Do you have, do you share a screen?
Yes.
Of your work, of your submission?
So we had submitted an application regarding signage, which is basically roadside, just located just to the turn up of Tulip Lane, which is a public thoroughfare. That's right next to the condominiums. We share that thoroughfare going back and forth for Miller and Clark and 1600 Harrison Avenue, the Rockledge building. There's an existing sign that's been there way before my time. We've owned the property since 2008. And that sign is, has done its needs through the years. However, especially during this time, the need for some roadside exposure for some of the existing tenants would be helpful. So as a course of action, we've decided to try to go through the permitting process with you to get approval to upgrade the existing sign where it's already located.
Okay.
So it would give signage to our property, which it already exists. And then there's already some tenants that are there that have been there for quite some time. This is just a new and improved, better looking, and will accommodate a few more tenants who seem to need the help to continue business. As you may know, because obviously everybody's familiar with the area, CVS has opened up an optometrist and has eyeglasses available. So Apple of Your Eye, who's been one of our clients for quite some time, is suffering. She could really be in need for roadside assistance and signage. Northwell Health, everybody knows Northwell Health, a good anchor of ours, would also like some roadside exposure. And then we have just a couple of other key tenants. Eagle Hardwood Floors has been with us for quite some time and now moved their showroom from New Rochelle to our location, although he's been a tenant with us for quite some time. He's just a while back took a little bit larger space, and we're trying to generate some more traffic for these guys so that they can survive. We have the parking lot facility to accommodate everybody. We have 120 parking spaces in the rear. We're handicap accessible. We have about 13 handicap spaces as well. So, parking's not an issue for us to accommodate.
James, do you have handy there the existing sign picture?
I have that on my person. I would have to file through. Didn't know that I was going to.
No, yeah, I was just, it's not.
Is it okay if I just do
I just thought
something?
it would be helpful for people to
This
see.
is the existing sign. Does that help you? This is the existing sign. You can see the color. Is that better? The color,
If I may, James, what's the address of the property?
1600 Harrison Avenue.
Joe, can you make me a co-host?
Yep, I got you right. Yep.
Go into
I'm
my
right now.
email. Will I lose you if I go into my email to pull something up?
Yeah, we have it in your submission. You did submit
That's correct.
the existing sign. So we know what it looks like. I just thought it would be helpful for everybody to be able to
Right.
see the context.
Yeah. So in those signs, that sign there, obviously, Rockledge is a little bit larger, but we have the need to fill a little bit of that space. So we designed something that we feel accommodates everybody's needs.
Okay. Well, I guess my general thinking is it fits within the sign ordinance size, which I guess its colors and so forth are compatible with the building, and it's and it's a direct replacement of the existing sign, which is frankly had it.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
To me, it seems like a nice upgrade. Fine by me.
Thank you.
Well, anybody else, others may have comments.
I think it looks good. It's an upgrade for me too.
Yep, same here.
Jefferson Avenue.
Okay, well, if there's nobody, if there are no further comments, can I have a motion?
Well, Mr. Chair, before you do that, would you like to ask whether or not there's anyone from the public that wishes to speak?
Thank you. I promised you I would forget that from time to time. Usually I forget that. Usually Athena reminds me. She's. Are there any members of the audience or people listening in who have any questions or comments or would like to comment on this submission? Joe?
I'm not seeing any hands.
All right then. Okay, thank you for the reminder. And then could I have a motion?
I motion.
And a second?
A second.
Any opposed? Okay, it's unanimously carried. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
You
you very
bet.
much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
And let's move on then to 151 Mamaroneck Avenue. It's CKO Kickboxing, but I don't have a name for that, Joe.
Mike Santo.
Who was that? Sorry,
Jamie's
Barb?
good. Mike Santo.
I'm not seeing that as a list of attendee.
Or Mike Santo Liquido.
Yeah, I don't have any mics.
Well, maybe ask if anybody is here representing them to raise their hand.
Okay.
Are we seeing anything or
No,
maybe?
Yeah. but you might not be in it.
Yeah,
It
he
doesn't
may
look
not.
like.
Okay, so he's either not planning to attend or he got delayed, so we'll defer that one for now and see if he shows up. And let's move on then to 362 Mamaroneck Avenue.
And what does that mean?
Yes.
Daniel
Daniel
Petrone.
Petroni.
Okay, got him.
Madam Patron. 62.
Dan, could you please start your?
Sorry.
There you go. And start your video. You should have a camera icon. There you go.
There he is.
Evening, guys.
Good evening.
Hello.
Yeah.
And can you share your screen of your submission?
Okay, so it's just Valeria Brazilian Bakery. We're doing a simple pan sign with white.
Oops.
The gooseneck signs are already in place, and that's about it. Short and that's it. Short and sweet.
Well,
We
you,
didn't hear any of that.
Dan,
Somebody-
you cut out.
Yeah,
We didn't
Can you
hear.
hear me?
Is this the property?
Yeah.
it is.
No, he's further down Mamaroneck Avenue. 362.
Oh,
Yeah.
362, sorry.
This is the last one. You got the last, this was the one before, Will.
If I can get it.
We can bring up the screen if he can't, of the picture of it.
I don't have it. I couldn't get a
362.
picture. So,
Dan,
okay.
can you bring up your drawing?
I have the drawing on my screen.
Yes, share your screen.
the
Down at the
bottom.
bottom in the center, there's a green box that says share screen.
Oh, My apologies.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Sorry about that, guys.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So, yeah, once again, we're just doing a black pan sign with 1/2-inch white central letters that will be painted white, and Brazilian Bakery will be in a white vinyl. Once again, the gooseneck lights are there already, and that's it.
Okay. What was the store that was here before?
I think the last company that were there was, I think, Sweet Rolls.
Okay. I was just trying to picture it. Okay.
I have one comment.
And next,
Hello?
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Eva.
you there?
Okay. Am I on?
Yes.
Yep.
You can talk.
hear you.
Okay. Yeah, no, I just wanted to make a comment concerning the size of the signage. When I'm looking at the facade, it kind of, I think it will look better. Of course, yeah, it will need to be longer if it kind of lines up with the window, the storefront frame. I mean, I think the height is fine, and it's within the requirements. And it's just my opinion that I think it would look better.
Yeah, I agree with that. It seems a little funny that the white rectangle above lines up with the windows below, and the sign
Right,
is neither here nor there. It's not small enough that it's freestanding.
Right.
It looks like it wants to be the same length.
right.
And I think it
Okay.
would benefit
So
by
we-
being that length.
Mm.
okay, so I can
Yeah.
make it even with each frame at the end of the windows, not a problem.
Yeah, I think that would.
That would look
much-
better.
Much more
agree.
green.
I agree.
Okay,
Okay. Does anybody else have any comments?
No.
Okay, and this time I'll remember to ask if there's any other participants or interested parties who have anything to comment on. Joe?
I don't see any hands.
Okay, so if
Okay.
there's no further comments and no objections, if I could get a motion to accept it,
I'll motion.
or the vote rather. Okay, and
Aye.
okay, and any opposed? Okay,
No.
so it's approved with the condition that it be the same width as the windows frame underneath.
correct. I will, yeah, I'll resubmit those. I will resubmit that drawing to Barbara tomorrow
Excellent.
with the new revised
Okay.
length.
Very good.
You
Great. Thank
guys
you.
have that.
Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you.
Guys, you got it. Have a good night.
Good night. Okay. So let's move on to 501 Halsted Avenue.
Marco?
Yes.
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi, how are you?
Okay.
Hello.
I try to put the file, I think like that. How can I do the file? I can find the way for add the file.
If you have it on your screen,
Yes.
then at the bottom center, there should be a green box that says share screen.
Okay.
Do you see it, Marco? It's next to
Yeah.
chat.
I just try to put inside, but
There you go.
Yeah. You did it.
all right. Do you see it?
Ah, good.
Good job.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Perfect. I keep
Yes.
my style very simple. It's just a wood sign with a classic letter, if you can see. It's 10 feet wide, and the wall in the back it's 17 feet wide. So I have 3 feet and a half on the left and 3 feet and a half on the right, all gray and with the white brick. And the letter is gonna be for the name Padre Pio 11 inch and for the Osteria 6 inch.
Mhm,
Okay,
mhm,
there seems,
mhm.
it looks like there's two signs.
On top of on the tent,
Awning.
we're gonna reproduce only the same thing but in black and white because we have a black label in the back.
Mhm.
Seems to me that it's out of scale in the picture, but I don't know.
Yeah, I also had a concern a little bit about the height of it. I don't know if it is, that curve, if that is smaller than the parapet behind it, or if is it contained? Because
It's
it seems
contained.
like, yeah, it should be contained. I would think it would look better, but we can't really see it for sure
I'm
based on
sorry,
the.
because you're right because the picture don't have the right description. Because if you see around, I have all brick, white brick, and the sign is gonna be perfect inside. I also have a gray line like in the bottom. You have also a space on top, so it's gonna be perfect in the side. And in the middle here, if you see, I have it's gonna be a light shine from the bottom to up.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
unfortunately, I
you
cannot
couldn't
the light
tell.
because I
Right.
don't buy yet the light. Before it was a light, but was very ugly, so I remove before I take the picture, unfortunately. So I have just to put a nice light, white or black light to shine the sign from down to up. So don't bother the car come from the traffic in the night in any case.
Okay,
If I put from on top, I think I'm gonna bother the car because this is a little bit, it's not angle like the street. So if I put on top, maybe I can bother the car come on the side on the street. So I'm gonna put on down. So from down to gonna shut to
Turn
up.
up.
Yes.
Fine.
Sorry, I missed it. What are the materials here? Is this printed vinyl or it's wood or what's the material of the top sign?
This is a wood with a steel panel on top and printed on top because unfortunately the wood can do the same effect. The guy do me the sign tell me he can do this effect on the wood.
no,
Sorry.
I'm sorry, I apologize. You have a little bit of an accent and I'm not quite understanding what the material
No
is.
problem. Sorry for my accent.
No, don't be sorry for the accent. We just, I'm sorry we don't speak whatever, Portuguese or whatever.
Italian. No problem.
Italian, okay. We don't-
Italian.
I speak more of that than I do Portuguese, but I still couldn't follow.
Anyway, it's gonna be a wood base with a steel panel on top, aluminum panel on top.
You're saying a wood base?
Yes.
Wood.
Okay.
Okay. So it's gonna be with all wood effect. Everything is gonna be wood, but on top having aluminum, very thin aluminum panel for print all the sign on top.
Okay.
So would you see the wood? I mean, here it looks like you're showing the wood, but I don't understand if they're just aluminum letters.
No, it's gonna be all panel in wood is gonna be all pattern in wood is gonna be in aluminum because it's gonna be printed on aluminum panel.
Okay, so it's
Because
not.
unfortunately, I don't find the wood with the same color shape naturally. If they're gonna paint, a lot of guys tell me it's gonna be in 2 months, in 2 years, it's gonna be gone because it's gonna be you have to change, you have to paint again. So the best way for do that, they say we put a panel and we're gonna print on top with stamp, high temperature stamp. So you're gonna.
So it's not going to. I got confused. It's not wood then. It's metal.
No, it's wood, but on top.
Wood, if I may,
all on top is a aluminum panel.
I believe it's a wood sign clad in.
Got it. Okay,
aluminum.
got it.
And the aluminum is printed with a brown wood grain as well as the white.
Yes, forgive me, the wood shape,
Okay.
the wood effect.
Okay. So
Okay.
it's not actually wood. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, to us, it's
okay.
not.
Just wood,
Okay,
just
just
for
looks
structural
like wood.
purposes.
Okay,
It's
got it,
structural
got
It
wood.
looks like wood, but the back of the panel still is wood. It's a 2-inch panel wood in the back. So I have a 2-inch wood panel, but for give the effect, they have to put this aluminum tine on top.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now, are we being asked
Yeah.
in this submission to approve both the sign and the awning? Or is the awning there, or what's up there?
If I can, Mr. Chair, I would suggest that I think the board, within its purview, has the ability to look at the awning, look at the proposed sign, and also look at any lighting. The lighting.
Yeah, I realize that, but I'm not sure if he's, I mean, sometimes people show submissions where it's like a phase 2 or something. So I'm wanting to see, you know, what he is intending to do here and understand it.
This is just a second things I have in mind for the leave everything black, because the old owner have in the front just write the same name of the place, but that was really very nice. So I want to ask you your opinion if I can do something like that, or I have to leave all black. For
Okay.
this, don't put the sides and nothing, because really I don't have yet the sides. I have to take the sides and everything. But I am not sure if the town likes something like that or not. I want this like your suggestion if you prefer something like this.
Okay, so you're not asking for approval of the awning at this point. That's just future.
No, not really. I need the approving only for this one, the big one, for open. I have to open. For the one, I want to ask your suggestion if we do is going to be fine, something like that, or I have to change my style, or you prefer to don't do nothing.
Okay, and we can stipulate that we're only approving the sign, and that if you wish to do the awning, you'll need to come back and get that approved as well.
It's not a problem. I come second time before the awning, it's fine.
Okay,
Would anyone on the panel care to see the current state? Because I think you would see the size of the upper sign.
yes, that would be useful.
Can I just share my screen?
Yes.
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 Yeah, 1 second. Oh,
Yeah.
I need to give you the screen.
Yeah, let me, you can share, I just allowed you to share it while other people are sharing it. So you could try it now. There you go.
Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Right.
So this was the, I'm not sure if all that stuff's still there, but I think the
Yeah, everything is still there like that for the moment. I don't touch nothing.
right. So I think what you're saying is your new sign will be no taller than this sign. Is that correct?
Yes, it's gonna be the same size of the right fiamma. Do you see when it's stopping of the fiamma?
Fiamma. Yes.
It's gonna be the same size basically. I have just to cover the top of the A and this little leaf they have on side.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that that's the case, because by looking at the photo and the, you know,
Yeah, the proportion is not. Yeah, you're right.
you can't tell, because since we don't have like an elevation with the dimension, you know, it's like a photo, and then you imposed the sign. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that it's going to be contained within that rectangle.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, because I repeat, I don't know if I can move the mouse, you can see me on top of the.
I can stop sharing.
No, it's fine. On top of the brick, if you see the brick on top, is gonna be like a cover for my sign. It's the same dipper. We have the same space.
Okay.
So my sign is gonna be flat.
Okay. All right.
It's gonna be flat with the brick all around.
Okay.
This my intention was to put it like in a picture, like in a frame, in a big frame, brick frame.
We approved this other sign. The poor guy, I guess his timing was just before COVID, but we saw this.
This one is right now is painted with spray paint.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, the awning is basically replicates what's currently there.
But he's not asking for the awning now, just the sign.
Yeah.
All right. I mean,
The awning is gonna be all black if you don't like the things I suggested in the picture before. It's gonna be all black. Or if you prefer, I can write Italian restaurant just like that for the people like. This is up to you.
Okay, well, the all black awning you can do. You'll have to come back to us if you want to put signage on it.
If you give me just some suggestion, I appreciate for next time. What the town prefers. So I come with a plan. If it's fine, something I do before, or I have to change.
Mr. Chair, if I may, is the board comfortable with having the writing at the top and also on the awning? Because if so, what he's saying, what he's suggesting is, and you can do this, you could place a condition that he has to remove the existing awning and make it all black. You know, that way he doesn't have to come back to the board.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just thinking of the economics of that for the proprietor.
To me, it's an overkill to have both. I would just leave the top one, but I mean.
Well,
I think
let me
it's-
understand. I had understood it was going to be all black.
Should I go back? Should I
Marco,
unshare?
are you going to paint out the Fiamma Trattoria, or are you going to leave that lettering there, or what?
No, I'm gonna paint. I'm gonna remove everything.
Okay, so it will be all black, right?
All black, no, it's gonna be always in gray. The color base is gonna be gray.
No, I meant the awning.
The awning, yes, it's gonna be all black for the moment, yes.
Okay.
And it kind of matches the one, you have more awnings on the side, just like
Yes,
the
it's gonna be
Photoshop?
all three awnings all black.
They need to be the same. Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's gonna be
Yes.
there's 1, 2, 3. They'll all be black.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay. Now, the last thing I wanted to ask about is you mentioned lighting, but we don't know what this lighting looks like.
It's gonna be a simple. I wait the guy say give me because I don't find yet. It's like a simple light is gonna be in the angle for shine the name from down to up. Just a simple black or white light. I was gonna think it's gonna be black.
And it's gonna be right there. It's gonna be right where the pointer is.
Yes, so I cover also these things because it's a little bit ugly outside. It's electric outlet to go outside, so I wanna cover. So the light gonna cover all things, so nobody see the electric things.
And it will shine up, right? Yes. Okay.
All right.
If I may, Mr. Chair, if the board is willing, and the board seeks to approve this application, the board could place the condition that the applicant provide a picture of the light fixture once he has it to staff, and then staff can send it to the board. Board says it's okay, then he can proceed on.
Yeah, I think that's a good suggestion. I think in the interest of letting this go ahead, because this corner could certainly use it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I think that is exactly a way to proceed. So I think that, Marco, what we will stipulate is a couple of things, that the sign is below the gray band there up above, that the awnings are all black, and that you submit a picture catalog
Picture of the light,
of the light fixture to Barbara, and we can approve it subject to looking at that and not objecting.
Okay.
Okay, but I do need to ask then if there's any other interested parties or participants who have any questions or comments first.
I'm seeing no hands, Bill.
Okay.
And Mr. Chair, just one other quick question that staff has. Are you proposing any security cameras that will be located on the exterior of the building?
I'm sorry, sir. Can you repeat? I'm sorry.
Are you proposing any security cameras that will
Yes,
be?
of course. Yes, of course. I'm gonna be also because I have the parking lot, so I'm gonna be all areas with security cam. Yes.
And are they, so they will be on the exterior of the building?
Only on the side of the building near to the parking lot.
Well, my suggestion is to bring that to the board's attention since you're here, so you don't have to come back if that may require you to come back.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not sure, Will, if we normally, unless it's part of an overall renovation, if somebody's just adding security cameras, I don't know that we normally.
The system is already there, really, but I just have to upgrade with a new one because the one over there is broken right now.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I was just bringing it to your attention because
I think that, that's good. But normally I think that that's probably a little bit of a stretch to be within our purview, but you're replacing the ones that are there with other ones, I think I would be willing to let that go myself. Okay.
So just for I send the picture of the light to tomorrow. Tomorrow I go to the guy. So I take the picture, the effective picture of the light I sent to Barbara. I have to do something more. I have to wait something now. I have to do something, or I can start to print the sign. This is my
Yes,
question.
you'll be able. You can start. You have to get a building permit, of course, or permit from the building department. But and there will be these conditions about the awnings having to be black and
On the black and the everything gonna be inside. Yeah, it's gonna be perfect. Right.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
We haven't
Thank you.
actually voted yet, Marcos. We have to do
Oh,
that.
yeah, you're right.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I motion to support it.
I second.
Any opposed? Okay, Marcus, it's carried. So now you're good to go.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
I look forward to a meal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember restaurants? All right. Before we move on, I'm just curious, Joe, has this CKO kickboxing guy showed up?
Nope, I'm still not seeing. Yeah.
Okay, so he sounds like he's
Oh.
going to make it here. Okay, 535 3rd Street.
Bill?
Yes.
Bill, you're able to share your screen?
Can you hear me? Can you see that or no?
Yep.
I can see you, yep.
Oh, Bill, nice to see you.
How are you?
you?
Long time no see, guys. How are you?
Pretty good. How you doing?
All right. I don't know if you can see this screen. I have a
can see you.
top view of the panels.
No, we see you.
You
Yeah,
see
we
me?
see you.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And, you should see a green button on the bottom of the toolbar, share screen.
There
There
you
you
go.
go.
Okay.
Looks like my screen.
Can you see that?
Yep, we can.
Okay. So that is the overall view of the
Are
8
you-
panels that we're putting up.
Are you able to just expand that? Because it's only like using.
Maximize.
Drag on the left. Go to the left and drag the side.
Yeah, right there.
Oh, nope, you
You
got to
can
put it
just
right
hit
on
that.
the.
No,
Fine,
the
fine.
left.
That's
Ah.
good.
There you go.
There you go.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So there's 4 panels on R4, which is on the back of the house. And then there's 4 more panels on R3, which is looking at the front, the right side,
Mhm.
for a total of 8.
Is it my understanding, Bill, that the ones on the right side are on a flat surface?
No, they are on a, you know what? It's showing me
Look at the picture.
R3 is an 18-degree pitch.
Oh, it is? Okay, so it's very slight pitch.
Yeah,
Mhm.
R4 in the back is a 37-degree pitch. So yeah, there's an 18-degree pitch on that.
Okay.
I think I have a couple pictures here.
Mm.
That's the neighbor.
Yeah.
That's the neighbor's house.
Okay.
That's another neighbor.
That's the neighbor? Okay.
We already looked. We know what the house looks like. That's still the neighbor.
Okay.
These might all be neighbors. Maybe you got to go down. Maybe the
It
one.
might be in your
below.
drawing set, Bill.
In the drawing set?
Scroll down.
Oh.
There you go.
Yeah, they're right there.
There
right
it
there.
is. That's the house.
Yeah, that's the front. Yes.
So that's the front. That's honestly, that's the only one I have.
Hmm.
There
Uh,
were,
So it's
there were-
on
there was
this-
a
on
full
this
set of pictures in the submission. so we could see it all. It was very hard to figure out actually which is the front, which is the back, which side, but I finally overcame my dyslexic tendencies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, the dormer.
you and me both. So it looks like that's the porch overhang. I think they're up on the right.
Right.
That's the 18-degree pitch, and then right above that, towards the back, would be the other 4 panels.
Yeah. Well, you know, obviously this is a fairly modest installation that isn't visible really from much of anywhere. So
There's a look at the panels.
yeah, just to move it along, I think, you know, I can't see any reason.
Well, Mr. Chair, I just have a quick question. I'm looking at a picture. If I can share my screen, I believe I have the house. Give me 1 second. I just want to see
Yeah, I
something.
have the house here too, so.
No. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if
Yeah.
I can share my screen. Just really quick.
Yeah.
Can you see the screen?
Yep.
All right, so just a quick question for the applicant. As you can see, this appears to be the house, and there appear to be 2 trees here. Was there a tree there at any time?
That might have been a previous picture.
How long ago?
I couldn't tell you.
The only reason I asked, Mr. Chair, is because in my experience, I've seen situations where let me stop sharing. Give me a second. It just seemed a situation.
Okay, well, I think I see where you're going, Will, and I think the question when I asked Bill is there a tree there now?
I believe these are most recent pictures. It is possible that they did remove trees. in
This
the
is
front.
what it looks like, right? This is what I'm coming up with.
No, no tree then.
It's that one, right?
Yeah.
It's that one with the panels along the top of
Yeah,
this
that's
part
the house.
here and then the back.
Right.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't know what the date
I
of
think
this
Will's
is.
concern is that you're not cutting down a tree to provide light to the solar panels, but
This says image capture September 2018. So, I mean, there couldn't be a big tree there now. Well, couldn't be
there
as
is a
big a tree there
if there
now.
was a tree in the back, you would see it. So it looks like there is no tree.
Mm. So that part of the roof where the panels are it's a little slope. It's a very small
Very
slope.
shallow slope, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You're not going to see that.
And then in the back. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So back to, I guess,
All right.
where I was, it seems, you know, seems fine to me, but leave it open if
Yeah.
anybody else has comments. Any of the board members have comments? Any
No.
other interested
No.
parties, Joe?
I think it's fine.
I have no hands.
Okay. Anybody care to motion
I
then?
motion it.
Second?
I second.
All right, I think we're good to go then. Thank you, Bill.
All right, guys, be safe, okay?
You too.
Thank you. You too.
Take care.
Yeah. 320. Okay.
Okay, 320 Bishop Avenue.
Oh, looks like
Oscar.
there's 2. I think I got 2 people listed for that.
Okay,
Yes, Oscar and Natalie, I think the other one.
Yep.
is.
Yep.
Okay, now I am mute now. So, good evening, everybody.
Hello.
I'm gonna share my screen.
okay, just to clarify, you and Natalie are both here?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Natalie
yeah.
is the owner of the house and
Uh-huh,
the consultant for the project. So,
okay. And that, you're the only ones there then? Okay, and so you're like the architect?
yes, yes, sir.
Okay.
So, can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we
Yeah.
can.
Okay, so this is the rear, the existing condition of the house, the rear.
Mhm.
So basically, this is the existing. What we want to do is remove this roof, and put a second floor here, all the width of the house. And here where you see
Mhm.
this concrete pad, put a first floor addition. So this is the
Mhm.
addition
Mhm.
of the house. So basically it's the second floor here all the way and this portion of the first floor. If we look at the rear elevation, so this is how this is going to look. At the top, we are going to have a master bedroom and master bathroom. And on the first floor, this is a family room. So this is going to be the rear elevation. If we look at the right side elevation, this is the addition, this is the roof. And it's going to be just this portion. This window, this portion that you see here is existing. And if we look at the left side elevation, this is the addition, basically. We have little windows because the client prefers that for privacy. So the big windows basically are going to be toward the rear elevation. Materials and trim, basically all they are going to match the existing ones. So
Okay.
yeah, that's basically what we want to do here.
Okay. So everything matches, the roof matches the existing,
Yeah.
the siding, everything, the
Yeah,
windows.
if you look at the photo, we are gonna
Mhm.
keep the same
Gray, blue,
gray
gray,
siding, and
painted.
the trim and everything is gonna match existing.
Okay. Okay. So that entry, yeah, that's existing. That entry going down to the basement on
Yeah,
the
this
side
is-
as well. Yeah.
All this is
Okay.
existing.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. Got it.
Could you switch back to the plan?
To the elevation
Plan.
floor plan. Okay.
No, the site plan, really.
So if we look at
I'll tell you what I'll tell you what my question is. Are you expanding the concrete patio?
yeah, this is the first floor. So this is the addition. This portion is existing.
Is the patio, is that new, the patio?
Yeah, that the patio is gonna be new.
Okay, that was my question.
Yeah, the patio is gonna be new.
Okay.
Okay. This is our phone.
Oops, Natalie's there, but there's somebody else.
Yeah, you see that this is the patio.
And I can't tell from the survey, there's no variances here, is there?
No, we are okay with the setbacks and heights and FAR building coverage, everything. Yeah.
Okay.
Building coverage and okay. FAR conclusions.
Okay, you have any comments, Yvonne or anybody?
No, I think it's a pretty straightforward, addition. So
Oh.
it's fine. It's within the, it's nice. I mean,
Yeah.
really, they're getting a much larger house.
Yeah.
And,
need extra
I
bed.
like, yeah, the master bedroom looks really nice.
Two
I love
girls,
the bathroom.
2 girls. I need the bathroom.
Oh, I bet. No, I also like, I think it's, all that master suite has an office space. That's very nice.
I work from home now, right? Everybody.
Yes. That is good. Looks good to me.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, my only question would be, Oscar, in
Yep.
terms of the by covering, the ground, are you okay with the? Are you okay with the numbers covering? It's
The
not
cover.
permeable soil.
Yeah, I think here we have the table with all the information.
You have it there? Okay, what was it? Yeah, in terms of coverage, in terms of building, you are okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
proposed 22. Yeah,
Yeah, we are okay on that.
yeah, okay. All right.
I'm good with it. And Oscar, I quite appreciate the software, the 3D rendering.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was quite helpful, and if you want to pass on to your architect friends, feel free.
I think is that SketchUp?
Yes. No, this is Revit.
Revit, okay.
Oh, Revit.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
It's
good for
very-
you there. Okay, are there any other comments or questions from the board?
Is that a standby unit there, or what is that right underneath the
This
covering? Yeah.
It's current
this is a
generator.
generator. It's an existing
Oh.
generator.
It's an existing generator. Ah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's existing.
Okay.
If you look at the existing
I see.
Oh,
Can you have
Uh-huh.
that? Can you have a generator like that underneath the overhang?
yes, you can. Yes, you
Yeah.
can. It complies with the setback.
It has enough open
Yeah.
space around
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it wasn't a thing about the setback. I was just thinking, I didn't think they were supposed to be that close to the building anyway. So I was just wondering. But I mean, I'm not a participant with the building code, but I just didn't think they were supposed to be so close to the building.
The generator. Hmm.
no, that would be.
So
a
now,
question
so now
for the-
that you're upgrading, would it have to be set in a different spot? But again, that's not my purview.
That'd be a question for the building inspector.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think it looks good.
Yeah, we have to sign off on this Weber Genesis grill here, though.
We have a barbecue to celebrate after.
Yeah.
We have a chef here.
Right, okay. Any serious questions from the board?
Hmm.
Okay, Joe, is there any other interested parties or neighbors or anything?
There is not.
Okay. Motion?
You want to?
Yeah, I motion. You do?
I agree.
You second? Okay.
Anybody opposed?
No.
Okay, then you're good to go. Okay, Natalie and the gentleman sitting next to you, good.
Okay.
Can I just ask a
Enjoy.
question? How long takes for the permits?
You have to ask Barbara that.
Barbara?
Do we know who your contractor is? Do we
Yes,
know-
everything is filed already.
We have the whole complete application, all the
Yeah.
information. It's got to work its way through the process. I really can't say for sure, 2 weeks, a month.
Okay. All right.
Enjoy your house.
Yes.
We will. Thank you.
Okay, good luck with it.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have then,
I wish we had had that software for the big house way out in
oh yeah.
edge of the Merrimack, right?
Oh, can you
Remember?
the one, yeah, that giant house? I don't know.
Oh, the giant, the 15,000 square feet or 10,000? Yeah.
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 If we can, just to take a break and digress for a second, my son does building modeling, building information modeling for, large architectural and engineering firms, and has done those sort of drawings for like the Atlanta Falcon Stadium with the roof that opens like an iris,
Oh.
incredible stuff.
Yeah.
Anyhow, moving on. 877 Orienta Avenue.
Arnold?
Okay.
And Arnold Weil. So.
Arnold, you're muted.
Yeah, he's muted.
Arnold, the icon is next to the video icon on the bottom left.
Well, you guys sort this out. I'm going to step out for a minute and get a water. I'll be back in 30 seconds.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi, can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yes.
Yes, we can. Okay.
I'm back.
What do I do next?
You're gonna see a
Finish your
green button
appointment.
at the bottom of your screen, share screen. Do you see that? It's highlighted green.
Yes. There's open system preference. Do I press that?
No, no, no. In the Zoom window itself, you should see a bar at the bottom of the screen. It's got a mute option, a video option, a chat, a share screen.
You may have to move the mouse down there to see it.
Yes, should I press share screen?
Yes.
Yep.
I pressed it. Now I see desktop.
Yes, that's what you want.
Yep. Yep. You should be able to hit OK.
Should I press desktop?
Yes. And then there should be a share option. On the bottom right of that screen you have open, it should, in blue, it'll say share.
Or you can just double click. You can just double click your desktop. That's all it takes.
Oh, I see. Oh. Yeah. Okay. I see myself. And I see all here.
So, Arnold, if you hit the share screen, do you get a pop-up window?
I'm looking for share screen.
Could I share my screen and then we'll just talk way through it?
Yes, I see you.
Andrew, you can do that if you want.
I have some.
Let me just do it, just so we just keep moving on.
Okay.
So it's this, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right.
I'll go wherever you want me to go.
Right there. Well, that's great. Right there. What we're doing is this particular house has, believe it or not, 2 second floors. So what we're doing is we're doing a small addition to the second floor to connect the 2 existing second floors.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Everything is just the siding, everything is going to match, of course.
Okay. Mm.
So that's the back.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So it's over this.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, those are the neighbors.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, this is how they are in the file.
Yeah.
I don't think I can rotate. I don't know if I can rotate that. Let me go back to here.
So wait, currently the master suite is over the garage and it's not connected to the rest of the house?
Well, the master suite, it will be the master suite. Currently, the room over the garage is some kind of a playroom, and there's also a bedroom and a small bathroom there. But that's going to be the master suite. The current master suite is over the main body of the house.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Andrew, have you,
All right, sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
I don't know why the 2 second floors like that.
What I do? Sorry about that. What did I do here?
I think you want to click that
I
link
guess that
again.
was
Yeah.
here. Sorry. I was looking to see because I also had up. I also had up the address. I see. I replaced the address. Yeah, I'm just gonna add. Sorry, I'm just gonna add one thing here. Because you can see the street view. The street view, you can see it.
Mm-hmm. Ah, yes, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
It's that
Mhm.
space right in there, right?
Exactly, yes.
It's, the trees sort of hide
Yeah.
everything, but it's that space right in there.
If you go out to the driveway, I believe you can actually see it.
Yeah.
'Cause I found some view of it that you could see it, but
How about if I go in
you
there?
can't go in the driveway. Google cars don't go that far yet.
Thank God, right?
Then they'll be in your bathroom, but right, not yet.
And
Yeah.
no changes.
There, you can see it
Oh,
there.
it's right there. It's right
There you
there.
go.
There,
that's
yeah,
the one, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
No changes
Yes.
to any of the windows with the changing of the rooms.
No, all the existing windows will remain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just, yeah, the second floor addition. And in the back, your line is flush with the existing house wall there, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're building directly above the existing.
Uh-huh. 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 Is it okay? The roof working okay there? Yeah, you think? And yeah, the new roof is not matching the existing. It's a little bit below, correct?
Yes, it has to do with the depth of the existing, the existing depth.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
The important thing is to keep the angles of the roof the same as the existing.
Yeah, the same slope.
Yes.
So in the back, it's actually going to align, right?
Yes,
Yeah, it's flush. It's flush with the existing.
Here it's flush.
Then-
It's just in the front, it's not flush.
that's right. It's reset.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Because it's recessed. You
Yeah.
can see it three-dimensionally, but it'll just be back
Yeah.
recessed. Yeah.
It's beyond. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Right.
And similarly on the other side. The other side, I guess it's not flush with, what's it look like on the back? It's flush there too? Or not?
Here it looks like it's flush, right?
But what about on the other side with the little piece?
Here?
Yeah, I can't.
That looks like that roof, like this roof is farther back or farther forward towards the street, right?
Flush.
But it looks like the facade is flush, so I'm not sure.
Yeah,
You need Arnold to tell us.
Yeah, the plan shows a flash.
Very
Yes.
simple. What if you notice the level of the floor of the room above the garage is 2 steps lower than the main body of the house. So, so when you're going from the main body of the house on the second floor to the second floor of the part above the garage, you actually have to step down 2 steps, which accounts for the height of the roof.
Tell us how the roof relates to the roof over that part. Like, is it proud of the part on the left? Is it flush with it?
The roof of the addition is a continuation of the roof of the main house, and it's a little bit higher than the existing roof above the garage because the garage and the room.
I'm not talking about higher. I'm talking about the plane of the roof relative to the plane of the roof on the left.
It's the roof of the.
Do you have an elevation from the right side?
The addition and the roof are in the same plane as the existing main body of the house. Yes, that line wouldn't really be there. It's just there to distinguish.
I know on the main house. I'm talking about the other side.
Oh, it's above the
Andrew, can you point to the line on the left? This line there.
Yes. The roof, that line does exist because that roof is slightly higher than the roof.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's step downs there.
Maybe a roof plan would help. Boy, this is drawn by hand. Everything. Wow.
Here's where the steps are, right? So.
Yeah. Right. The removal of the stairs. Yeah.
Doesn't look like
Remove
Doesn't look like
stairs.
it would- doesn't look like it would be lined up here. I guess it's lined up here, right?
Yes, there.
That's correct.
It lines up.
Right.
But I don't, why doesn't the roof line up? I guess I don't quite see.
He's talking about that the roof is a little lower, the
Yeah,
area where the garage is. So there's a little, step there roof wise.
Mhm.
Excuse me.
Doesn't really look like, this is the back of the house.
Yes.
I guess it's to keep.
This
the
is all-
but I think it's hard to see the geometry, but I think in order to keep the angle of the centerpiece the same as the angle of the main house, when it comes down from a lower elevation, it sticks out from the lower roof. I think that's what's happening. It's a little hard to visualize it. You could have used an elevation
Yes.
in the end there.
Yeah. Well, a roof plan will help a little bit.
Or a
I
roof,
think.
a roof line, a 3D drawing or an elevation from the side would have shown.
Yeah.
We don't have any of those things.
No.
No, there's not in here.
No, there's not a roof plan.
All right, the materials are what?
Everything's going to match. It's a wooden siding and an asphalt roof.
Does the asphalt roof now match on both roofs?
Yes.
Okay. I don't recall.
Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So, yeah, in order to, looking at the front elevation again, looking because that plane, the addition is recessed. In order to keep with the same slope, he needs to lower. I mean, the top of the roof is a little lower.
Right.
In order to, that's why. Okay. And then just because the garage is a little lower, it's a couple of steps down. That's why you also have that difference in level, roof wise. Okay.
The one
Yeah.
thing that's a little curious, and I don't know if I care that much or not, but the go back to the front elevation, Andrew. The new upper window looks to be smaller than the window on the main house, more the size of the window on the garage part. But it's set up at the height of the windows on the main part, which causes it to go up there and then down on the next plane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is
So if
step back.
that's a window to, it would be, but it is set back, so that's why I say I don't know how much I care about it. But just pointing it out.
Yeah. I guess they didn't want to, it's the laundry room, so probably they didn't want to put it real.
And it's set back. If it was in the same plane, I would say you probably
Right.
need to make it line up. But set back, I don't think you'll notice it. I think it's probably fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too.
No, and also there's the window right over the door, which is also short. I mean, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the rhythm, though. It steps down from left to right, except for that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it looks
You
fine.
know, I'm still not convinced that this all makes sense with this floor plan, but I think a roof plan definitely would have helped.
Yeah. I think so.
Well, the addition, that room that you're pointing to, can you see my arrow?
Well, you can't see I can't see your arrow, but I mean, this is the part you're saying it's flush with, but that's not flush with this.
You're absolutely right. If you look at the new addition and the lower part, if you go back further, part that's flush.
Oh, I guess because it's up above. Is that what it is? It's up above.
Yes, exactly. The
I don't know.
part that's flush at two different levels.
Right.
Go back to the plan. I'll show you that yes. Okay, now if you go back to the back of the house, furthest part in the back of the house, you see, yes, where you're pointing now is flush with the existing. However, where you're pointing right now is 2 steps higher than the part that it's flush with, and therefore the roof is, of course, a little bit higher because there's a two-step difference.
How
I
is
know,
that
but what
roof
I'm-
flush with the other side? How is that roof flush?
How is
with
it
the-
flushed with here? It's like 10 feet back.
Yes, that's correct. It's the same height as the main house, but it's
Mhm.
correct.
Oh,
You know what? I mean, I'm sorry, but Arnold, what if you give us a little sketch, maybe? You know, a quick sketch. I mean, freehand sketch.
Yeah,
or
I think we
something.
need, I think we need to see how these roofs work. I'm
Yeah,
sorry that,
yeah.
I think, Arnold, you need to come back with drawings that show how these roofs go together. We just can't. figure
Yeah,
it out.
all that transition. Even maybe
We're
we
spending a
need
lot
a
of time and we just need drawings of it.
right.
And
What
Mr.
about
Chair,
maybe
if I may make a suggestion, should the applicant also come back with the right and left side elevation? So you can-
Yes, I'm thinking left, right side elevations
Yeah.
on the plan.
Yeah, and maybe that clarifies that too.
Yeah, I
A
agree.
roof plan would help,
Could I
and yeah.
I think these people need to move into the house, and a month's delay would be a really big problem. I'm sure I can explain the roof lines.
Well,
Arnold.
well, we've tried and we're wasting a lot of time in there. In all fairness, there's another applicant.
Arnold.
And it's every 2 weeks anyway.
Yeah, we're scheduled for August 4th. I need the new drawings by next Friday.
Okay. You can see that the new part that we're building and the old part above the garage are flush.
We can't see that though. That's what we've been trying to figure out. We don't understand it. Because the house is well in front of the other house. We don't understand how they're flush.
The building is flush, but the roof of the new part is higher than the old part.
All right, well, look, I don't want to spend a whole lot more time on it. Can you just,
I agree.
please do the, we tried, we gave it an effort and we just can't figure it out. So we do need the drawings to be able to understand it.
So I'm coming back to another architectural review board meeting in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You submit new drawings by next Friday, you are.
Nick, can you clarify next Friday as being tomorrow or a week from?
Yeah, no,
Friday is a week from tomorrow.
the problem is that we have people bought the house and
we need to understand it. We need drawings. I would have encouraged you to do full drawings. You didn't do full drawings, so we need to see. We're not trying to make work for you here, but we need to at least see, as Will said, the elevations and the roof plan.
Okay, so you want an elevation from the side of the house to explain the roof line? Is that what?
From both sides, and in particular the garage side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the two elevation will help, and the roof plan that will tell the whole story, I think.
And may I also suggest that they that the elevations are that they're in color.
Color.
Yes. I mean, and the reason I suggest that is, again, this is an architectural review board, and they're looking at aesthetics, and it makes things a little easier for them.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we're going to defer this for the next review meeting for a more complete drawing set. And we'll see you then. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and that brings us to 526 to 530 Fayette Avenue.
That would be Greg, correct? D'Angelo, Greg DeAngelis?
Yes, Joe.
I think he has a client with him. I don't know if he.
Greg, I don't know if he does or not, we'll ask him.
Greg.
There's also Greg Masson. Our client is also in the waiting room somewhere, Joe.
All right, I'll get him in here.
He's named Greg as well?
Two Gregs.
Okay, so you
Greg, yes.
Is he smaller than you, Greg? Can we call him Little Greg and you're Big Greg?
I don't know. I think I'll just avoid that question altogether, Mr. Chairman. But and his son, one of his sons is also named Greg. So it's been an interesting conversation we have.
Okay. So everybody's Greg. So if we say Greg, we nail it.
Yes. So if you want, I'll jump right in and share the screen if that's okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Greg Masson, I see he's there on mute, so I guess he's good. Okay.
Yes, I'm here too, Greg.
Oh, good. All right, Greg. All right, so let me put on our screen here. And so just to give you a little background, this is a view looking down Fayette. It's the buildings on the corner of Fayette and Ogden Avenue towards the southern end of the industrial district. Greg Masson, our client, is the president of construction company. And his sons are now continuing it. It's a second generation. Right now, let me just see. They are operating out of, here we go. The house on the left, the building on the left. The one on the right is a 1.5-story residence. Those lots have been combined through a process with the planning board, and we are now, and have gotten zoning approvals as well as planning board approvals. So really, this is kind of the last part of a long process for the Massons. It's in, like I said, well, you can see it's a 3-story building. It's in a flood zone, so the lower level, and I'll show you another view from the further south, looking back up Fayette. The lower level is in the flood zone, up a few feet. So we have storage and some utility spaces on a raised platform, and we're allowed to have the entry lobby and some garage spaces. So basically, it's a lot of building for 2 floors. It's a little under 7,500 square feet total. So it's has some height to it, but it's not one of the larger buildings. And I can show you several around the neighborhood if that would be helpful. Let me just see. We want to go to the landscaping plan. The way the building is sited. This is Fayette, horizontal on the bottom, and Ogden going up and vertical up and down. So that we sited the building on there after looking at many alternatives on the corner, kind of hold the corner from an urban planning point of view, and then end up with a pass through under the second floor of the building to a parking lot in the back. And there's some spots under the building, and there's a garage portion with a few cars here, a couple spaces. And then there's a small visitors lot as well, coming directly off of Fayette. And again, we went through this with the zoning board and the planning board. This also shows some of the landscaping we're doing. We're adding a couple street trees, minimal kind of foundation planting. There's not a lot of space for it. But Susan Oakley has reviewed this and gave her seal of approval. And we are incorporating a green roof, which helps both, as a green infrastructure as well as for stormwater management. Then, here are some of the elevations. Basically, it's a concrete block. Obviously, the lower level needs to be flood-proof, flood-resistant material. So we have concrete block, a base, few base courses of a darker color, and then rising up where we have an elevator shaft here and stair coming down on this side. And then using larger forms. The idea is it's an industrial area, large bays, simple forms, simple kind of materials, just paying attention to proportions. Some warm grays. The middle zone and these are these fiber cement panels. Some of you may be familiar, Nichiha. And it's a range screen principle. So they're like 18 inches by 6 feet. And we course them out. And then in the middle here are some more of a simulated wood, just to give some extra texture and to kind of accentuate some of the larger forms. We'll go back to the rendering. And just, it's not a large building, but just try to have a little fun with it, and something that starts to help inspire some other development in the industrial area, like the chairman and I have been spending some time doing, right?
Yes, we have.
So, I mean, I have more photos. I can go into materials in more detail. Maybe I'll pause a minute and see if there's any questions first.
I had a couple quick questions off the bat. The trees that you show in the site plan are existing or added or any trees being removed? What's happening?
There's some, well, these are existing trees back here. They're somehow they managed to survive because they're kind of squeezed right along the property line of two industrial use properties. But these two are new trees. And let's just refresh my memory. I have it here. Yeah, the two red maples is what we ended up with putting here. So those are street, there's a little lawn, and then there's just some foundation plantings. This is an existing tree over here on the neighbor's property.
Okay, could you show a picture of those two houses, the picture of the two houses?
Sure. Oh, wrong one. This one. There we go.
Yeah, okay, so there aren't
So
any.
you can kind of see those trees in the back, Bill, if that's what you're asking about.
Yeah, okay. So that was one question I had. The other question I had is if you could kind of explain the parking and particularly the drive-through thing with this fold-down screen and why that's there and what's going on with that.
Sure. Let me go. Actually, you know what? Let me just go pull up the first floor plan.
Yeah. These are apartments or is this these office?
No,
spaces?
it's all commercial office space.
Oh, okay.
So it'll be a an slightly expanded office for the Mason's construction business, agency construction, and then there'll be also space for some tenants and or expansion growth. So I can show you the floor plans, but let me start with this one first. Let me just enlarge it a little bit.
I see. So the gate is for security after hours.
Yes, exactly.
Why is the gate needed? I mean, how does it work? I guess
it's a roll-up gate. It just rolls up, above. So,
Do you have a picture? If I may, do you have a picture that the board can see? Catalog cut?
Let me see if we put that in our package. I'm not sure that we did. We kind of rendered it. Parapet's hoping. No, I might be able to pull up a spec for it. But let me just, if you want, first, Bill, I'll walk you through the first floor and the parking. So again, this is where the gate is. There's, a driveway curb cut here into the back lot. Actually, let me go back one more. I apologize. Here we go. So this shows, going through, there are 3 garage spaces here. There's a couple of covered spaces. There's actually one more space under the building on the other side here, tandem space. And then about eight spaces out in the open lot. So that's the main parking area for the company and for the tenants.
Is there any access to this parking besides through that gate?
No.
I see.
No.
I see.
Other than through the building. If you come out, you can come into the building here.
I meant by car.
The stair or up to the elevator.
I meant by car.
By car, that's the only way in and out through the gate. And then this is just an open lot here with a couple spaces, one of them being a handicapped accessible spot.
Okay, I understand.
And then it's kind of a low wall here. We put a planter so we get a little vertical green space here to make up for the land as well as the green roof.
Okay. I'm sorry, Greg. Did I understand correctly that the floor plan, those 3 parking spaces at the top, do they have like a door, gate, or something?
These have their own garage doors.
They do.
This is like a traditional garage with their own doors, and then this is the gate. It's a roll down gate.
Yeah.
They're they're what 4-inch, and they roll up and go up in above the ceiling or at the ceiling level.
Is it like a grill?
Yeah, it's like basically a grill type of gate. The type you see, often at storefronts or malls or things like that. And it would just be coated similar color to the CMU.
And the others are like regular garage doors, or
these are regular garage doors. Because most of the time they're really not visible. They're just going to be probably a grayish color also. Nothing special we were thinking. They're more utilitarian.
Okay, so you come in, Greg, and you park your car, and then how do you get into the lobby?
So then you come in, if you're, you're in this lot, you come through the aisle that's for the handicapped accessible space as well. And then you're into the lobby here. So you come in, if you want to walk, you can walk up the stair. We put windows in the stairs to make that, encourage that. And there's also an elevator for the building. If you're coming from this lot, this is kind of the main public entrance, right? Through here, here's the door, kind of a glass lobby there, and to the elevator or the stairs. And then on the upper floors, just show you. Again, it's fairly simple layout. On the second floor, we basically, this initially will be subdivided into two, a rear tenant space and a front tenant space, a little corridor that connects the stairs and elevator, as well as some toilets. And then the third floor is where the Masons will reestablish their office, taking over that entire space, which is about 2200 square feet, which has a terrace in the back. So, and this is a lot of this is size based on the maximum building coverage permitted in the district and the floor area ratio and the floor area.
Okay.
And then, so the elevations, again, this is a front facing Fayette, mostly glass on the corner, as you can see from the rendering. And then this being mostly utilitarian, we have a lot of utilities coming in here, all the water, gas, electric coming in here. So just some high windows to kind of partially to visually get some separation between the upper volume and the lower volume, and also just bring some daylight and ventilation into those lower areas.
Yeah, it looks nice. I mean, the materials are nice.
We try to, it's a warm color palette. Like I said, kind of warm grays, a little texture in this wood. And let me just show you some of the materials.
So the this Nichiha cladding system, the fiber cement panels,
Yes.
You're saying those, they look like they're not glossy or anything. It's like an opaque. They look like cement.
They're
basically?
well, right. They're solid. They are opaque. They have a rough surface. I should say a textured surface. It's just a not a whole lot different than kind of a plaster surface. But
I see.
And they're matte.
Right.
They're not glossy.
Right.
Is
And
that
then the
what
other
you
one.
use that on that maple and rose thing, or is that different product?
That was all stucco.
That was
What we
stucco,
did
right?
use it on when we did the police annex.
Okay.
That was this Nichiha system. It was a slightly different color. And then actually, I think here might even be this almost looks like the wood grain, which, gives, not that we necessarily need wood, but we liked it just because it added some texture. And then the window frames
Right.
like here would be a dark Duranite.
That looks good. I think it looks fine. The wood looking, you're using the horizontal, right?
And we would go in a horizontal orientation, yes.
Yes, okay. Yeah. And then you have the CMU, concrete blocks at the bottom.
This is concrete block
it's,
up to this. There's a little
yeah.
bit of an overhang.
Different color.
It's really is a few to several inches along here, but just enough to kind of distinguish this upper volume, the office block from the base. And
Yeah.
you may see a little
Yeah.
more here too.
And you have both the split, the ground face and polish, right?
Yeah, a little bit,
Or
yeah,
just-
a little more texture and a little bit slightly darker. Just to break it up, and for the pedestrian, just a little visual interest.
Right. Okay.
I had one other thing I wanted to ask you about, Greg, which when I first looked at this, I was thinking, gee, we got this whole maker zone and we want to draw this stuff in retail and stuff all on the ground floor. And this whole thing starts on the second floor. What the heck? And then as I thought about it, I said, I imagine it's because you're concerned about flooding. And I
Well-
wonder if you could expand on why this whole thing starts up there on the second floor, which, as I said, precludes the whole first floor from participating in any of the maker zone development.
Well, it's exactly because of the flood zone. And the flood zone is up approximately 3 feet or so, and then we have to be 2 feet above that. So, and the Masons asked, and if we could put retail in here. But then because we also had to get all the utilities up, we couldn't even put we don't have a basement here to put utilities in because that's below the flood zone. So again, if I go back to the plan, it gets filled up quick. Pull up the first floor. So we came around to let's just we get it up there again, and some simple volumes. But this whole zone here. I'm trying to enlarge it a little bit for you. I mean, it's a very packed building.
Yeah.
And they're building a lot of building. They don't get a lot of net square feet out of it because of the 50% lot coverage maximum, and you had to go a little bit skinnier and taller and lose some efficiency. But this is all. There is one parking space here, but then we have an elevator machine room, and this platform is all up 4 or 5. It's actually several steps, about 5 feet above grade, and then we have headroom, and that's why we're basically the second floor level is 16 feet up to get clearance under the driveway. But I think it makes the building, I granted it, we'd rather have some pedestrian, some street level activity there, but given that that's not a reality at this point in time, and maybe when the Army Corps does the work and then the FEMA zones get remapped, there might be a chance to come back to this and do something, or even the garage structure. But for now, and we had to get some parking variances too, because parking is tough down there, but most places don't have any parking. So we maximize this. I think the zoning board eventually did appreciate that, and so
yeah.
Yeah, and I understand everything you're saying. I mean, it's just sort of unfortunate because if FEMA does come and fix everything and it's not flooding, this is already done, and you lose the opportunity to do much with the street at this point. You got the roll down grate, you got a stair. It's a fait accompli. And don't think you should be penalized for it. Don't get me wrong.
Well, and again, we tried to do something.
That's the timing.
Yes, and Bill, what I would also suggest is, Masons are being somewhat of pioneers here. They're stepping out in front of this. They've committed a lot to make this happen.
Yeah.
And to stay in the village. So this is going to be a nice looking building. I honestly say whatever.
You say so yourself.
Maybe hire some other development. Yeah.
I appreciate all that. I was just sort of lamenting the timing that didn't give you the opportunity to be able to do more.
Yeah. And you're right. I mean, the industrial area task force has been going on for a long time now too. And we thought we were making some headway, and things kind of slowed down a little. So
yeah.
I also appreciate that green roof. That's very nice.
Yes. We're happy to do it. And frankly, it helped with stormwater calculations on this project too, because because of the amount of parking we had to fit in, we had to incorporate some of that on the roof as well.
Mr. Chair, if I may, I have a couple of questions. I know you were, Greg, you were mentioning about the makerspace. Is this in an industrial zone?
Yes, it is.
All right. And is there any way to keep the building so that it accommodates the floodplain currently, and then in the future, would you be able to make modifications? Is there a way so that it could be retrofit so that you could have some commercial space on the ground floor?
Well, Bill, physically, yes.
Okay.
And it would probably, this now will be mechanical. It's possible that something could be opened up back here. It wouldn't be easy. And then the problem is they would also, because we had to comply with current parking regulations, and even that still had to ask for a variance. if there was a time, and right now the industrial area has not been proposing additional floor area being permitted. I don't think anyone felt that was necessary. So, I mean, I never say never. It probably realistically would be difficult here. If flood zone goes away, but you know, this is all, the problem is right now is this is, or the challenge would be, this is all the main utilities and mechanical coming in here, and we had to put it somewhere, you know?
That's
So,
you know, I understand. So that's a little beyond the ARB's purview. But I'm asking.
It's where I was going too, Will. It's a shame that, you know, this is a good development. It's ahead of other things that may happen in the future that would have enabled a building that, you know, might have been able to accomplish some other things.
and we know there are also some other properties in the industrial area that are not in the flood zone. They don't have the same restriction, and maybe even in locations where there would likely be more. I think as you get into Center Street and Waverly, it's probably going to get more of the residential, not residential, pedestrian traffic. You know, this is a little bit farther down the road, if you will.
So if I have a few more questions, really quick. If you could go back to the, I guess the rendering along the Minor Street, the other side of the building.
Yep.
So, looking at the rendering going from the main street going back, it looks like it's all in one plane. It looks like it's all, to me, somewhat of a rectangle. Is there anything you can do to break up the mass of the building along this particular facade, this elevation?
Well, what we tried to do, Bill, and what we do have some relief here, where the rain screen is a few inches outboard of the CMU. So that's going to provide somewhat of a shadow line. And the windows are set in a little bit as much as we're able to. So that will help accentuate that shadow line a bit. And the concept was that this volume would be kind of setting on top of the concrete block base. But, you know, we're always often trying to work with, you know, verticals and creating horizontal runs. So, you know, in our sense with this wasn't, you know, given what we were working with and the tightness of the site, that this would do a lot to break it up. And to, you know, even though you see this more flat from here, and this is going to be more all on one plane, that there is some separation between the base, between the materials, and some of the modest, you know, pushing in and pushing out of the materials and windows, that'll help.
And then along at street level, is there anything that can be done? Because to me, it just looks like a blank wall at street level.
Well, you know, one of the things we did is that's why we just kind of added a little extra color with the block. In the front entry, you know, that's go up this way. You know, this has some room for some plantings, and you know, this will open up, and this will be, you know, so it kind of opens up the corner. And you know, I think, you know, and we're putting some landscaping and we're putting some trees along there. So the building itself.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, so you're saying that it engages the corner, but go back to it. Go back to it for a second, please.
To this one?
No, go back to the render. All right. So to me, again, as a planner, I look at things from an urban design standpoint. So to me, it kind of turns its back on the corner because the front doors in the 530 turn away from the corner, as opposed to having that on the corner. Is there any reason why that happened? Because that would actually break up the that would give a pedestrian, you know, greater feel and aesthetic at the street level.
Well, one of the primary things, Bill, is that Fayette is one way going in this direction. So certainly anyone in a car, you know, is coming this way and then they're turning around. So this will be a very visible facade and often seen facade. The other side, you know, again, you know, and it will have some opening. I mean, during the day, the gate will be open, so the sun won't be sensitive. It won't be something people would wander into, but and there are some. We put some windows in there, so it opens it up a little bit. But really, I mean, our sense has always been that this is really the primary visual, and yes, primarily vehicular than pedestrian.
Well, I just gave my suggestion. I leave it up to the board to how.
Okay, well, I've got a couple of questions following up on Will's comments. On the other side of these windows on the first level, Joe, Greg, what's there? Why are they high windows?
These here?
No, the high windows on the first floor, you know.
Okay. This is the corner where the utilities are, in that corner.
Yeah.
So they're fake windows, basically.
And excuse me?
Are they translucent, transparent?
They're at least translucent. I mean, I they'll have a ceiling in here, so we don't see them as spandrel glass. They may be translucent, but for the most part, we thought this is all as clear glass.
Is there a reason you couldn't make them a little deeper further down so as to, make it look more, even though you can't get commercial space in there in the future, it could at least look a little bit more like a street facade and a little bit less like a blank wall?
Yeah, I understand. I mean, the challenge here is this whole wall is wrapped with between sprinkler system and wall system, sprinkler and water services and RPZs for those electric panels. There is going to be, we're up on a platform 4 or 5 feet up off the ground already. And then those things are on the wall. So I don't know that we could bring down, well, I don't see how we could bring down a window into that. We just be looking at, we'd be looking at
Greg?
mechanical stuff.
Greg,
Yeah.
can we go back to that elevation showing the entrance corner, the one you were just looking at?
This here?
Right, so there between the second and third floor on that corner, the windows, you have window panels that are not really windows, right?
Correct. We have some spandrel panels here.
That's
These here.
Right,
These
so
here.
that couldn't be, some of that couldn't be repeated further down?
Good idea.
I mean,
maybe just to define the corner or something. I mean, I definitely hear what Will's saying.
yeah, I understand what you're trying to do. I don't think it takes away from the kind of the building, the character of the building too, though.
Well, I understand that architecturally you've got this block and it's sitting on this base, and the base is sort of a basic thing that holds it up. And I see where you're going with that. On the other hand, walking by a concrete block wall is not a pleasant experience, and something that could be done to make it more interesting, and have a little bit more of a variation to it, I think would be helpful. I'm going to make one other comment on the same vein, which I think you'll find much easier. And you can see it here, but you can also see it on the other elevation. And it may just be the way you've rendered it, but could you consider articulating the color of the base material with the upper level material to accentuate that block on top of the base kind of a thing and give it a little bit less of a monolithic character,
On the other facade, are you?
I'm not really sure what you're explaining.
Your CMUs are basically the very similar color to your other things. And that might just be a function of the rendering. I know that, like, for example, in your other projects, the colors have changed a few times.
Right.
The beer place, for example, changed every week. But I'm thinking that articulating between those two materials might help break down the monolithic character of it that Will was kind of referring to on the Ogden elevation, for example, and kind of.
So maybe just using some a little more difference in coloring or tone.
You're working on the coloring a little bit to kind of make it look less similar. It's a little matchy now, and all kind of makes it look more monolithic. And I wondered if you might consider articulating that more.
I think, okay, also, yeah, looking at this elevation that you just put there, yeah, it seems a little bit monolithic. And I wonder, the other elevation looks much nicer, even though by looking at the plan, I see there's not much change in plane, seems to be the same plane, just maybe a little bit a different thickness between the block and the what is it, Nichiha cladding system. So I wonder if, Greg, if this elevation, could you do something like that to use a little bit more of the kind of break the horizontality there, just to break the volumes a little bit? I mean, for some reason, the other elevation, it's more pleasant to me. That one.
A lot more going on this side.
Playful. We have,
Yes.
we're able to bring the block up because the elevator has an overrun. And
Yeah.
room.
In order to break a little bit and define.
A lot more going on here. And we understand that this can't all be going on the other side, but if I mean, even if you look at this elevation, which is drawn in, line, black and white line drawing, the way that the brick, the CMUs are rendered versus the way that the matcha or whatever it's called is drawn, you can see even there that there's more of a differentiation, which, it makes it kind of already look less blocky than the rendering. And, it may just be the rendering, but I'm just thinking that being articulated more.
That's true.
Makes
That's
it,
true.
it looks better. This picture looks better than the rendering.
Also, I'm sorry, at the door,
Go ahead.
the stair, that exit door, I wonder if there is any way to engage it a little bit better there. It's kind of, floating there. I don't know, in terms of maybe framing or using the panel or doing, I don't know, just throwing some ideas.
Yeah,
just to articulate. Yeah.
They are different systems, kind of construction systems. This is more of a curtain wall, and obviously this is a block built up. So,
Okay.
but
Okay.
I'm trying to think. I hear your concerns. We're a lot of things are kind of tied in there. Maybe we can add some more, some variety in the block or something. I'm trying to, if you go around, let me just see something here. And it may help or whatever. Where do we go here? Here with me. This is here. Just went around the give it a second to walk.
Yeah.
Okay. So these are just some other of the larger buildings throughout the district. Here is on the corner of Fenimore and Fayette, majestic buildings. Obviously, Blondie's Treehouse. This is kind of in the back. This is one of the industrial. This is along Fayette, still getting close to our site. Our site kind of to our right. This is behind it. Here's what's across the street from our site. That's kind of disguised as looking back.
Not very appealing. Yeah.
So we're trying to make some improvement. This is Cablevision building, the back side of it across Ogden.
That's my favorite.
This is kind of what we have over there. We looked for some inspiration around here. We didn't find a whole lot, I must say.
No, I think you did good.
Yeah, the famous quotation from Gordon Bunshaft, which is show me a context worth responding to and I'll respond to it.
Yeah, there you go.
But that's fine. I think though a lot of these buildings you're pointing out, I think particularly to point out that they're unattractive. And part of the reason that they're unattractive, I think, is particularly what we're thinking that we might work to.
Maybe we could do more of a textured block along the base, maybe give it a little more of a sense of depth. We had thought about doing that kind of a split face, and maybe we can take a second look at the colors.
Color, texture. I think in particular, this elevation you know, could stand some relief. And I think that the easiest way to do it is by color and texture and somewhat differentiating without losing, you know, what you're trying to accomplish. I wouldn't, you know, I would, you know, I'm not saying this should be black and that should be white or something, but, you know, differentiating it so that it looks less monolithic and you're not relying on a 2 or 3 inch shadow line, you know, that you can articulate it further by color, texture, that sort of thing. And I think that would just be an easy kind of simple gesture. And I know you can do that. And you know, a grander gesture would be to expand these windows, whether it be with things that you already, with the topology you already have of, you know, spandrel glass wood or something, to that in the event that, you know, when people walk by it, they're not walking by a concrete wall, that there is some differentiation going on. And maybe you do it in, maybe there's other ways to do it, but you know, I wouldn't introduce a new topology, but stuff you have going on might be, you know, but I think the overarching comment is, can we do something to make that ground level a little bit more pedestrian friendly, looking ahead to a point where there might actually be a pedestrian walking there.
Right.
Without going nuts, you know, without building a storefront ready to go, you know.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I hear you. Maybe there's, I'm here and see if we can find it. I think the windows are tough, but maybe there's some things we can do or talk to for our client too to keep this make some sense to it. And just,
if you leave it blank, you're going to get the Arts Commission painting a mural on it. You know.
Yeah, well, you know. That could be a thought. I mean, you know, sometimes we find you want to, you don't want to go too far and get things over articulated too. You know, so that's the only thing. But
yeah, right. Yeah.
It's the same. We had the same objection to that apartment building that was going where the House of Honda was, where they had a parking garage back there, and you walk down the street and there's a parking garage behind it. And, you know, and you're greeted with, you know, exhaust vents from a parking garage for 150 feet, you know, nobody wants to walk by that. And here I recognize it's not the same thing in terms of pedestrian traffic, but just trying to look ahead without, you know, kind of going to great expense and so forth. Can you articulate it better?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
If I could speak up at this point. We've been working on this since 2017, and I truly appreciate all your comments. But on the practical end, as a builder, the wall underneath those short windows in the corner of that building, don't forget that the floor has to be raised up 4 feet. On that wall, you have gas, you have PRV, you have the elevator equipment, you have the electrical panels, we have telephone. That area is quite crowded. So to change those windows would be very, very difficult. I have no idea where we put the utilities if that were to happen.
If I may, no one is suggesting that you change the utilities. I mean, just as an example, they have things that are, what I guess the board is asking is, are there any architectural features that can be added that will not change the form, you know, the location of things and that kind of thing? It's not structural. That's all.
Yeah. Okay. And also backing up one step, could you introduce yourself? I just want to make sure that Barbara has your.
My name is Greg Masson. I've owned this property since 1986. I work there every day. It's my office. And at best, the side that we're talking about, Ogden, is packed with Cablevision trucks, people from businesses up the street that park down there. And I'm always picking up the garbage. So to think that we're going to just one building, and I appreciate it because, listen, I'm a past member of the Board of Architectural Review. I've also been on the Village Planning Board, and I can appreciate everything you're saying, but what Greg DeAngelis is proposing here is not inexpensive. It's taken 3 years, and it's going to be a dramatic improvement for the entire industrial district.
I
We
I agree with
think
all
ahead
that.
in that vein.
That's why I think we've tried to take that into account and tried to offer, kind of suggestions, which are not mandates, but suggestions of things that might help it without enormous expense or without changing the form, such as, changing the color or texture of the bricks or adding some further articulation or expanding the windows, recognizing that they're not going to be windows, that they're going to be something opaque like spandrelite or wood, the wood paneling kind of, or something that brings it down, but not stuff that's going to be enormously expensive or change the form. Or we're not asking you to do basically anything on the inside. Just can you make this outside look a little bit less blocky? That's all. Even making it a different color than the top would help make this whole thing look less blocky. You see, so we understand where you're coming from, and we really appreciate that you're willing to invest in the community and make it a better building. And we understand and appreciate that. And we're basically just thinking, it's basically more with Greg trying to discuss, are there things you can do without the owner having to spend a great deal of money to just articulate and make this lower level facade be just a little bit friendlier looking, I guess. But we certainly understand where you're coming from, and last thing we want to do is to add a lot of cost and put you through the ringer here. We're just looking for ways that might be easy ways to make this a little bit friendlier at the ground level.
I understand, and I appreciate your position as being a past BAR member, so I appreciate your time.
I similarly was a past real estate developer, so we'll we're not on two different pages.
So where are we going?
Well, Greg, do you want to take a look at trying to articulate that in a reasonable and sensible ways?
I wouldn't want to overpromise what we could do. I mean, I think.
I wouldn't promise anything at this point. I think that the comment would be, can you articulate and make the ground level look a bit more?
I think we could look at the colors again of the block that maybe that make a little bit more again, I want to be careful. I don't want it to look like it's just a mixed match of stuff, right? I mean, it's, maybe we can add some banding or something that's just integrated into block work, or maybe it's.
Greg, I've got every confidence. I know you're good at this. I know you're good at these colors. You'll work this out.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like that's what the board needs to see. That's what we'll figure out how to do, and we'll work with Greg. See if we can get you something by I'm actually away a couple days next week, but see if we can get you something by next Friday, because I know we've got a building season. Obviously, we're all trying to get things underway too.
Yeah, well, I don't know to what extent we can do this, and I'm not sure if I'm allowed to offer this, but maybe somebody can advise. We're talking about things which do not affect the form of the building. I mean, you could, it seems to me, get, permits for like.
So if that's the case, Mr. Chair, then the suggestion would be that if you're looking to approve the project, you could approve the project with the condition that the applicant come back, at your next meeting to show you the revised elevation.
Yeah, and that's what I would suggest, but I wouldn't think that would necessarily need to hold up, the preliminary development steps of, these are really relatively minor things that don't affect the form of the building. I mean,
yes.
I mean, you got to order them, but they go on later. You could certainly be demolishing, digging holes, bringing in power lines. You know, you can do it. There's a lot you can do while we talk about this.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
a shame to hold it all up while we decide if the brick should be yellow or green.
Definitely, definitely. So
Well,
I
that's
I personally
helpful for
like
us.
that proposal.
What's that?
I said, I personally like the proposal that they're allowed to proceed with the rest of their building permits.
Mhm.
And that, you know, we just see in a couple of weeks, maybe an attempt
Yeah.
at some minor revisions, and, you know, maybe it's not going to work out well, but we'll see. But that shouldn't hold up the rest of the job.
That would be great. It would be very much appreciated.
If Will can go along with that.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah, okay, so we'll approve it as to the form and architecture and so forth. But we'll reserve judgment as to the final finishes, colors, and fenestration.
Mhm.
okay.
Okay.
Quick, is there a second on the motion?
I second it.
Who made the motion?
Who made the motion?
Oh, then I'll make the motion. That's Wallowitz is making the motion.
I'll second.
All right.
Okay, and I'm sorry, I forgot the name of the owner, but I hope you find that reasonable as well.
Thank you. Greg Masson is the owner.
Okay. Thank you.
I mean, it's,
All right. Thank you then.
yeah, I appreciate it, everyone.
All right.
Okay,
Thanks, Greg.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
okay, and I don't suppose the CKO sign fellow has reappeared?
There's no one left, Bill.
Okay, I forgot to ask.
Joe, that was
if
the
there any
last
other
application.